Hello and welcome to episode 2 of MADCAST. You're here with me again, Liam. We've also got Bez
Hello.
and Jack.
Hi.
Today is the day, obviously, Series X has launched. We are recording a special edition of MADCAST because we won't normally put 2 out as fast as this, but we decided to get those first impressions out of the way, have a little chat about what we've been playing on and what our experience has been on launch day this time round, because all three of us have got it now. Bez caved, didn't you, Bez?
I did. I was originally waiting till Christmas, but all the talk around the coming closer to the day where it was coming out, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, I think there's only out of all of us, I know Vils hasn't got it, but Pansy was supposed to get it today as well, but Amazon have let him down, as of a few people. And Amy's got FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. She's been trying to get one, but I don't think she's managed to sort one out yet either. But I know you went to game, didn't you, Jack, this morning?
Yeah, I had to physically go into store, which, looking back already, I think that's probably the safest option for acquiring one. Everyone's had such trouble trying to get hold of one.
I've literally been looking out the window all day because they kept updating me or saying that it were on its way. It was supposed to be here at 10:30. I think I finally got it at about 12:30. So after last launch experience of series of the Xbox One X, I don't hold massive faith in Amazon. It's finally there. I've unboxed it. What are your thoughts on it?
I'll let Bez go first, actually, because he was the first one to get it out of all of us, being 4 hours ahead.
Yeah, I only decided yesterday that I was going to get it, and I called the shop. They had no problem with me pre-ordering it. When I went to pick it up today, there were loads of them stacked up by the front door. There was no sort of queue or anything. It sounds completely different to the experience that you guys have had.
I was just going to say you've enraged like thousands of people if they ever listen to this because they're trying the hardest to get hold of.
Yeah. If anyone's hearing this right now and is thinking, screw you, Bez, let us know in the comments below.
Definitely, yeah, because I think it's crazy that I'll post the picture on the video side of this, so you'll be able to see it if you're watching the video. There was loads, and there was nobody waiting. I was the first one in the shop. There was no queue, no nothing. So it was dead easy to pick up. I picked one up for my friend as well, which is
not
probably
making this any better, Bez. Just not making it. You're not making it any better.
I'm really impressed with it overall. I like the presentation. I opened the box and the way it looked was great.
I think they've put some serious thought into how they present it this time. You know, it's not just
They really have. They really have, and I feel like I normally wait for the bundles where you get a couple of games, but this time getting the console day one is kind of a new experience for me. So it was interesting just to get the console with no kind of extra bits, but I am happy with it. I found a spot behind my monitor where I can keep it, so I'm happy with it. I've been installing games pretty much all day. I thought I was being clever downloading them to a hard drive yesterday, but
I think that's
not
everybody's
successful.
experience. Every launch day is, well, the newer consoles, obviously, back in the day, it used to just be put a disc in and that was it. You didn't really have to install anything, but obviously now it's a lot different. What did you think anyway, Jack? Are you a fan of it?
Yeah, I honestly, as Ben said, I thought the presentation was great. Like, it had it, opened it up, you opened it up all nicely. It was all kind of like wrapped, like almost like a Christmas present. So it kind of, you had that kind of like, you know, you open it up and you kind of got all excited because, you know, it looks amazing. It was like, I felt like it was kind of Christmas came early, to be honest. I do kind of wish that maybe they added an extra couple of things in there, just as like maybe like reading material, or you know, like little extras that were sort of free. Like if you think back to, like if you think back to 2013, they had a day one 0G achievement, and it showed that, you know, that you were there day one, that you know, you kind of had faith in their product, and then they also kind of had like little things like an extra month of gold and stuff, things that wouldn't really cost them much, but kind of makes it feel like they kind of give a crap almost. So I think there are little things like that weren't there, but
it is a bit different now though, as a lot of people that are coming will be getting this Xbox. I've already sort of set up, like they've already got a headset. I noticed that there was no headset that came with the Xbox, and I thought
I was just going to mention that. You know, obviously, for anybody coming into like especially younger gamers who've never really had a games console, to get online with their friends. That chat headset that we used to get with the when the first Xbox One came out. I know you didn't get it with the Xbox One S or X either, but that little cheap headset was a way for them to get online straight away with their friends. I think that's a big miss for them this time around. Obviously, then there's a cost involved, which if they're trying to save on costs for something on manufacturing something like that, then fair enough. And I know that the X is definitely aimed towards more hardcore gamers, shall we say, because of the specs in it, and obviously the smaller Series S is aimed at like a base entry level for next generation. But obviously, missing that little chat headset, it does mean that parents are going to have to go out and spend a little bit more money. The main thing that I found was I couldn't believe how heavy it was. That's what I was on about earlier, Jack, when we were just chatting before recording.
Yeah.
When I was talking about it with Banzi. And I'm not saying I can't lift it. I'm just saying I was very surprised. I was very surprised.
Struggle carrying 2 out of the shop.
Bez, you're just infuriating people. Just stop. But honestly, though, because obviously I'd made space for it to go behind my TV, but I started to pack up my Xbox One X. I'd lifted that before, and I thought the difference in weight is a lot different, and I presume that's due to the heatsink, with the copper and stuff that's inside the new Series X. I definitely won't put it on a floating shelf or anything like that. I definitely want it on something sturdy and well ventilated. I was surprised by the size of it. Really, I didn't expect it to be quite as small as it was. It's still a little bit too big for me to put in my entertainment system, entertainment center. Sorry, because my Xbox One X suffered in there with the heat. Kept shutting down every now and again, so there was no way we were going to risk it with this one.
Let's say this again, but put it on record, right? This is for you, Banzi. You can't go and have an Xbox and then basically put a black plastic bag over his head.
I didn't.
It's just like it's a form of torture.
I haven't shoved it in a drawer like the way Banzi goes off about it. It's a proper entertainment center. It's just I happened to show him a picture one day of it, and he was mortified by the fact that I was keeping my Xbox on this little shelf in my entertainment center. And yes, it has shut down a couple of times. And then when I played on it last night, I had it out of the system, of the center, playing Red Dead, and I couldn't believe how much cooler it was by the fact that I pulled it out of the shelf. So,
for the other Xboxes, I discovered that there's 2 kinds of people. There's the people that leave the sticker on.
Oh yeah,
and the ones that remove it, but there's no sticker on this one.
No, I think they've won that war. They decided that it wasn't going to be a thing this time around. Because I did ask that question, I think, on Twitter not too long ago, and they just basically said we ain't putting a sticker on it this time. So they were putting an end to that. I mean, you've got to be a psychopath to want to leave the sticker on anyway, right? Because I mean, who does that?
Well, you say that, and this may be showing psychopathic tendencies, but I got a new monitor and I've just noticed, and this was unintentional, but I still have to set a thing around the edge of the screen, and now it's actually doing my head in. Everything. It's just like it's staring back at me because I can just see it starting to peel now, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, now I've seen it, it will go.
Rip it off.
Yeah, you have my promise. Yeah.
Have you managed to play anything?
Yeah, so been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. I decided just to sort of jump in and kind of like stream it straight from the start as well. Like I didn't know what I was doing at the beginning, but yeah, it's honestly it's amazing. You get to be a Viking. You get to go around and bash people's skulls in. There's decapitations. There's drinking, like a lot of drinking.
Sounds like Liverpool, this Bez, doesn't it?
No comment. And then also, like, funny enough, I found myself just playing this dice game for ages. So similar to how Witcher 3 had their Gwent game.
Yeah.
They've built like a whole game based around sort of dice, and it's essentially you have to try and take down your opponent's sort of health and stuff like that, and you have different bits. Like I'll have to sort of go over it. It's a shame that you can't play it against other actual people, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's like you roll it, you have sort of like 3 goes, and you got to basically try and kind of decide whether you want to attack more or defend more, so you don't lose your points and stuff. And yeah, That's cool. I spent ages doing that, like a good hour. So yeah, that's been my majority of the day. What about you, Bez?
I am also on Assassin's Creed. It was
Yeah.
the first game I decided to install along with Call of Duty because I knew that I'd be playing a bit of Warzone tonight, which I've noticed some slight improvements. But yeah, Assassin's Creed for me as well. I think the next one I want to try is Gears 5, as that's supposed to be a lot smoother and a lot better looking with the 4K, and I think it's 60 frames per second. So
I think
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
need
That's
to double
great.
check it, but I'm sure in the multiplayer that's gone up to 120 frames per second as well. So
Is it
you'll
120?
notice a big difference if your monitor or TV can support 120 hertz. You'll see a
See,
big difference in that.
coming to say that, I have a 144 hertz monitor, but the Xbox in the settings, when you go to the TV settings, it says that basically it doesn't pick up. So I don't know if there's not quite the support there yet, or whether they had to add a list of supported devices. But I've got a pretty common monitor. Like, it's one of the LG Ultra Gears, which are quite common for like PC gaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not recognizing it yet. So just be aware, like if you're looking to buy something that supports the 120, double check that it will work, because so far it doesn't for myself.
You'll still get that boost though from like a base game going from 30 to 60.
Oh yeah,
You'll notice that it's like a lot smoother. But I mean, I've done the same as you guys. I installed Assassin's Creed Valhalla first. I thought I'd been clever and moved Watch Dogs over to my external hard drive off my One X, so I could just transfer it back to the Series X, thinking that I'd be able to pick it up and play straight away. But the transfer didn't actually take that long. It was only about 20 minutes to move it off the One X, and then 20 minutes to move it back onto the Series X. But then when I tried to play Watch Dogs, it came up with another update to say that I've got an upgrade. That was another 40 gig download. So I wasn't clever because it didn't work, and I still had to do a massive download. But fortunately, Valhalla, though, I'd already set off going before I went out this afternoon, so I managed to play a little bit of that. But that's pretty much all I've managed to get on. But like I said, launch nights, launch days, is always this setting it up, and to be fair, it's not really a lot of setting up. You know, consoles nowadays, you just obviously turn it on, log in with your Microsoft account, and if you've backed it up on your old console, then everything's pretty much there for you to go anyway.
I was in a party with my friend Ben. We sort of launched it at the same time when we were on the phone, and because we obviously logged in with our accounts and passwords and everything, he went, "It just looks like my old profile." It's like, well, yeah, it's supposed to. It's supposed to. You're not supposed to really notice the difference apart from all the upgrades, but it's supposed to be the same as you left it on the other Xbox. Oh, well, you expect something a bit newer, but yeah, it's not quite the same as when you used to get a completely new, everything brand new, totally different.
It's almost
kind of feels like a smaller upgrade.
Would you say it's similar to how, you know, when you buy like a new iPhone, but then you you put in all you log in, you update it, like, you know, from the last setting, and then you look at it and you're like, well, that's kind of the same.
Why have I just spent $1,000 on this phone? Like, it's the same as my phone that's 4 years old.
Yeah, but it's not that you're looking for. It's under the hood. That's what you're looking for. Like, the user interface, they try and keep it as universal as possible. So anyone who's still playing a 2013 original Xbox One will still have the same user interface as someone who's just bought a Series X.
That's all to do with this, you know, the family of console ecosystem. It's not like defined generations as it has been in the past. So obviously moving from the original Xbox to the 360 were like a massive difference. And then moving from 360 to Xbox One, it were like a revamped UI and all that sort of stuff. I mean, the UI was actually updated about 2 months ago on the Xbox One X to the same UI as what the new Series X was going to have. So that's why you won't notice anything different, because it is exactly the same user interface as he's been playing for the last however many months. And it's when you look at the graphical difference, you're not going to know if you had an Xbox One X like I've had since it launched. Even though you're playing on a much more capable machine, you're not going to be blown away, straight away with these games that are coming out early in the development cycle of the new generation. Because what we've not had before is this mid-gen refresh where you got the base Xbox One and only you'd have to wait until the Xbox Series X launched. But then because we've got the Xbox One S and then the Xbox One X, they've sort of implemented graphical changes throughout the generation. So you're not going to see that massive wow factor or leap in games. And I think I talked about this on the last podcast because, some of the games at the end of the 360 era looked like they could be an Xbox One game because the developers have got that good and they've got the tools to work with the 360.
Did they not do it? Did they not do it with the 360? Because I remember I had the black 360, but then there was another one that came out that was sort of like a mini black version.
I'm pretty sure the specs weren't any different. It was just because they implemented an HDMI out because it used to still be the old analog when Xbox 360 first launched. It was them three, analog to SCART connection. But then they launched,
the yellow, white.
Yeah. But then when they launched the 360 Elite, I think it was called, that came with an internal hard drive of 256 meg, I think, which is ridiculous now because that's like one game. Gigabyte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not megabyte, no.
Blooming out.
Did I say megabyte? Oh, I don't know.
You said megabyte then. I was going to say, what game is 250 megabyte?
Yeah, gigabyte, not megabyte. It's not a Nokia 3210. So you probably don't know what that is because you're too young to know what that is as well. So
3310, yeah. I'll let you slide.
Obviously, another thing that people are bringing up is the new controller. Obviously, it's not that much different to the last one. Obviously, you've got a new share button, and then texture grips on the back. It does feel a little bit lighter. I don't know if you guys think that, but what are your impressions on?
I was super surprised how much I thought it was different. I wasn't expecting it to be massively different at all, but I think they've changed quite a lot. For me, the triggers and the bumpers feel really, really different. They're not quite as pointy on the end, and the bumpers feel like they're a bit further out, easier to press, and a bit more clicky than the previous Xbox One controllers. And the grip feels better as well. It doesn't feel so smooth.
Yeah, it's that textured grip in it that they've implemented from like the Elite controller.
Yeah, they had that on there, and that honestly makes quite a bit of difference, really. Like when you're holding it, you kind of feel like it's not going to slip out your hand, especially like say if you're playing a shooter and you get the old sweaty palms or anything. It's good. And
the D-pad is also a big improvement as well.
Oh, it's basically the Elite D-pad, right? It's not like a metal, so it's more like it's the same sort of plastic.
In the middle of the, it's sort of the best of both worlds of the two options that they've given you for the Elite controller. It's just in between those two options, really.
Yeah, I think that'd be good for the fighters.
Yeah, I've never picked up an Elite, so I've just carried on with the bog standard controller, so I can't really compare it. So throughout launch, obviously there's going to be new games coming. We're going to be releasing a bit more content. Obviously, there's more releases due coming up. We've got COD coming out. Is that Friday? That releases?
Yeah, coming out on the 13th.
Yeah. And then a fair few more games coming after that. So obviously, going on from the Series X, none of us have got a Series S. I don't even know anybody. I think one of my friends has bought one for his daughter for Christmas. But that seems to be selling quite well as well. And for £250, I think it's a really good option for gamers coming in at base level for consoles. And it's had a fair bit of decent news recently this week where it's been talking about the ray tracing capabilities, which quite a few people started mocking it, saying it couldn't do it. But Watch Dogs Legions actually has been showing it performing ray tracing graphics.
Yeah, it's not exactly going to be, like GTX 3090 levels. Like, you're not going to get that in a £250 form, are you?
No.
But like, if you're looking at the videos, it's not perfect because it does kind of almost make it look like it's a bit of an ice rink. but it goes to show you that at an early level that they're already able to try and implement it. So as well as the roads, if you link to the videos, you can see cars going past other cars, and in the reflections of the car, you can kind of see like a distorted image, which is the other car reflecting off it, which is actually bonkers. Like when you're looking at it and you're kind of thinking, well, this isn't just like, it's not just replicating what it thinks you should see. That's actually a real time image of that going past.
Real world impression.
Yeah,
Reflection.
that's insane. £250 in the UK. Like, what can you buy for that? That's
obviously as well, like, because of Game Pass, they've got this where now you can go in at an entry level for next generation at £250. So it makes it a lot more affordable for parents where kids are desperate for a games console, or they want to upgrade the games console if they're still on a 360, for instance, and they've been saving up to either move on to an Xbox One, and now they've got this option of a £250 machine. I think that's a great option for them. And then obviously if they can get the Games Pass subscription as well, then they've already got quite a big library of games to kick things off with. It's also, we've got some new games that have gone in this week on Games Pass, or they're coming soon. I don't know if they're 100% released yet, but there's a couple of big ones in there, like Planet Coaster, the console edition. I've been really wanting to play that since, it came out on the PC. And then there's all the EA Play stuff, which is essentially EA Access, so all the stuff that were in the vault. And then there's Final Fantasy VIII Remastered and Gears Tactics. So that's going to console. It's already out on the PC, Gears Tactics, but it's now on console release. And then there's the Destiny 2 Beyond Light. So, I mean, for the amount of money that you're paying compared to how much you'd pay in a shop for all them games, it's insane, really.
There's really adding value to the service. Like, they're games that I wouldn't necessarily pick up myself straight away, but like I would be curious about them. So Planet Coaster, like I always do like the sim type games, but I never quite dive into it unless, like, normally it's my partner, like, she loves all the kind of sims and she plays like Planet Zoo and stuff like that. Yeah. So that'd be right up her street. So like I've always kind of been sim curious almost. So I'll definitely be giving that a go. And
Sim curious. I think the last Sims
I'm
game
making
I
up
played
words
was
here.
SimCity 3000. I think it was called SimCity 3000. But I used to love just destroying everything. Like a big dinosaur would come in, or like a big wave tsunami. That was the best part of it. I never used to like building it. It was
SimCity, Bez, is not Sims. SimCity's
really.
No, it's not. SimCity is like where you create a city from scratch, whereas Sims is like, I don't know, it's like a people simulator, isn't it?
Yeah, you create a house from scratch. It's the same, it's just on a bigger scale.
I'll be honest, I think I'm gonna agree with Bez here. Like you still start from scratch. You build what you want, and you create a life or a scenario that you want to live through. Yeah.
You make someone a big house with a pool, and then you get them in the pool and take the ladder away.
Yeah, I can remember doing that. Also, they're giving away a free Disney Plus 1 month sub, which obviously people are going to be snapping up because of Mandalorian. That's just recently come out, season 2.
Have you seen episode 2 yet?
I haven't, but episode 1 was amazing. It blew me away. I've heard mixed couple of things about episode 2, because there's this guy on Twitter that I follow as well. He's actually called Mandalorian. He said he didn't enjoy episode 2, and he went, there, I said it. So
unfollow him.
Okay, well, there you
go,
I enjoyed
Mike. It reminded me of Alien, and I really liked it. I thought it was very cool. I won't say much because it's quite hard to talk about it without giving anything away. But Baby Yoda again stole the whole episode. It was incredible. I really liked it. It was a little shorter. I always look forward to the shows that give you sort of like 45 minutes, an hour episodes. But this one was, I think it was 35 minutes, which it felt really short. Yeah. But apart from that, I really enjoyed sort of every moment of it. Maybe that's why it felt a bit shorter, because it was It was more full of stuff.
Yeah, condensing it down by 10.
I've only watched the first 2 episodes of season 1, so I cannot comment on The Mandalorian because I've not had access to Disney Plus. I saw them at a friend's house, and I did like what I saw, but I've not continued just yet. So I'll probably pick this up, this 1 month sub.
Well, why
just
not?
try and
You can binge it.
exactly. I will. That's what I'll probably do. I mean, I can remember with Games of Thrones, I was quite far behind on that. I think season 3 was starting before I started watching season 1. And within a week, I'd caught up to where I was supposed to be on season 3. So if something does take my fancy like that, you know, I'll
Yeah,
definitely sit and binge watch it.
Games of Thrones, eh?
Game of Thrones. I had an S. I don't know why. It's the prequel, Games of Thrones. We've also got you're ramping up your streaming schedule and all, aren't you, Jack?
Yeah, so basically a full week of streaming. On the launch of Call of Duty, I'm going to be doing a midnight stream for the launch as well. Get a few people sort of tuning along, and if they like it, then, you know, come and join our next ones, because we're going to be looking to do a lot more as a team anyway as well, regarding, you know, this, you know, YouTube and Twitch and all of that. So hopefully, you know, you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, because obviously, Bez, you've been streaming a bit as well, haven't you? And Amy as well. I'll put the links in the description down below for everybody's Twitch channel.
On top of that, though, you've missed out on one of the biggest things. We've launched our website.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you forget that?
It's because I got put off by Bez's earlier questions before the podcast started, but we won't go into that.
No.
So, yeah, the Xbox
sure?
Mad... Yeah, we won't go into that, but XboxMad.com has officially launched. I was pretty pleased to actually get it out on the same day as the Xbox Series X and S launch, because then we've got a little...
Almost like an anniversary date.
Yeah. So that is now live. Obviously, there's a lot more content to be added to it, but it, like I spoke about in the last podcast, it's going to be a lot more opinion-based blog post writing. It's not going to be like churning out news every minute of every day like it were in the past. So obviously it's about tempering that expectation of people that used to follow xboxmad.net, because it's just impossible for us as a small team to maintain that kind of media coverage. But what we are hoping to do is bring enough content to keep people entertained. Obviously we've got the YouTube we're picking up, obviously with MADCAST, and we'll be doing a few videos of what you've been doing on Twitch and that, won't we, Jack? Downloading the VODs and whatnot.
Yeah,
so,
there's always plenty of stuff to take the piss out of me for, so...
Yeah. We'll never run out of content for taking the piss out of Jack. Or Bez, to be fair. Or myself. So, you know, that's basically what it'll become, just a way to take the piss out of each other.
That was a great save.
So if you do want to head over and check out our new blog, it's at www.xboxmad.com. You can also check out our Twitter page, XboxMad. Let us know how you guys have gone on launch day, if you've had a good experience with the new Xbox Series X or S, or whether you might have had some issues, because I have seen on Twitter that there's been one or two, not too many, but where they've had issues out of the box with it. If you have liked the video, you can obviously subscribe, and if you click the little notification bell, you'll know the next time that we upload anything here on YouTube.
Why wouldn't you subscribe? It's free.
There we go.
We're also available for the podcast on Spotify and Anchor FM. We'll catch you next time.
Cheers, thank you, bye.
See ya.